Okay, so let's get a little bit into Aspire to Grow and go kind of behind the brand. Um, what's the meaning behind the name Aspire to Grow?
Um, I think I keep saying I think I love the word aspire. I just think it means to be better at something.
Mm-hmm.
So I just knew that when I was thinking about what the company was going to be about, I just felt the need to use aspire was going to be really important to me. Um, and the whole philosophy of what we're about is making businesses better at what they're doing and aspiring to achieve the results they want to achieve. We have four sort of philosophies or values that we would like to ensure that we work to. We want things to be simplistic. It's going to be simple. We don't want to overcomplicate things. We want to keep things simple.
Mm-hmm.
We want to be we want to be collaborative with the approach. It's not about us doing things for our clients. It's about building a relationship and where we work together to solve problems or help them become better at what they're doing. We want to do it in an excellent way.
Mm-hmm.
You know, at the end of the day, we want to ensure that everything we do is about it being, excellent.
Yeah.
And I think the last one's most important to me is we're genuine. What we say we're going to do, we will do it. And if we don't need to provide a service or do something, then we're not going to do it. We want to make sure the company understands that if they're coming to us, we're not trying to just get after the money. We really genuinely want to help them improve.
Yes. And so, as a founder, what's a typical day look like for you?
At the moment, it's attending network events, getting out. We're very much in the establishing the brand mode at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
I think our offering is quite conceptual, so I don't think there's a lot of people out there would probably understand what we're about and what we do. I've been playing with the idea. We spoke about this off camera. I don't like the word recruitment. It sort of has a negative connotations to a recruitment agency because that's not what we are. We're more of a talent acquisition. We want to help people manage the talent.
Mm-hmm.
So whether that's their existing talent or bringing in the new talent, we can help them with either or. We feel that is a fundamental value that our business is about is managing talent. Whether we do that in an operational sense or from a recruitment perspective, and then obviously it's finance as well.
So, what is a like one daily non-negotiable about for you?
Sorry,
that
we'll
could
go
even,
back to that one.
yeah.
Yeah, I sort of digressed in that. I think the one day for me at the moment is getting on LinkedIn, getting the brand out there, getting networking events, getting people to come to us and understand it, having conversations with companies about their problems, coming up with some free solutions,
Yeah.
and they need to genuinely believe that we can help them and support them in their growth. So my whole mantra and my whole focus at the moment is just brand awareness at the moment and getting out there.
So, if there's talent out there and they want to find a job, what would you say the social media platforms or places to go are?
So I think so there's two aspects to this. There's what you do from a client perspective and what you do from a candidate. I think the question you've asked me is around candidate perspective. There are so many resources now available to people. Social media platforms, there is LinkedIn's, there's Reeds, there's so many media, there's so many places now that people get advertised.
Where should somebody start?
For me, if you were niche job boards are a massive place to go to because not only can they help you in terms of prepare for interviews or prepare your CV, they offer more than the genuine little bit. So if it was me looking for a job and if I was on the market at the moment, I'd be looking at my sector and looking at the niche job boards that you can go to find jobs.
Okay, so if somebody wanted to find a job within a tight niche, like could they send you a message and ask for some advice?
Of course, yeah. I mean, ultimately, Aspire to Grow is going to be twofold when it comes to the talent aspect. It's going to be around finding candidates for great jobs, but it's also about finding jobs, good jobs and finding candidates for them as well. It's looking at both sectors. I mean, primarily at this moment in time, our focus is supporting clients in helping them professionalize the recruitment process. But we do have a staffing part of our business, and that's the more traditional recruitment agency where candidates can come to us and we can help them professionalize their CV, maybe help them with in terms of preparing for interviews. It's all about confidence boosting, or confidence building when it comes to going out there. One of the things I'm sort of playing with at the moment is the idea of almost creating a, if you think about like a football agent, or you think about
Yes.
anyone you have, I'd like to almost be a candidate agent. So people come to us as a candidate, and then we do all the work for them. We do all the whole help them create the CV, help them build the cover sheet, help them apply for jobs, and then prep them for an interview, and then help them with the offer process to make sure they maximise the maximum amount of money they can earn. I really like the idea of Aspire to Grow being able to be that sort of candidate agency where people come to us, and we're not just flogging any jobs because we're working with client behind us. We're working with their best interests, where we go out to the market and find the job that they're really looking for.
Okay, interesting. And in terms of like your proudest moment in business, can you pinpoint that?
My proudest moment. I think the proudest moment I've got is the day I decided I was going to do this. I had that's it, enough's enough.
Starting your business.
I'm starting the business. For me, it was something I've been looking at doing for so long, and I didn't really have the impetus or the financial means to do that. And now I'm proud that I'm able to set something up. I've got a website built. I'm starting to build really great connections. I'm doing this. I'm doing all these wonderful different activities. And I reflect back on that moment where I thought, I'm not just going to get another job and fall into another corporate role. I'm actually going to do something. I want to make a difference. I want to offer something to clients and candidates that's different from what's been offered before.
Have you had any moments of doubt starting your business?
Not doubting what I'm trying to achieve. Doubt that I can't get the message across correctly. I'm worried that maybe the words that I use are not correct, or we position it in the wrong way, or maybe we're a bit too broad and actually we should be niche. I'm still in that stage of trying to understand how best to appeal to both the client and the candidate so they can entrust us. I mean, if they genuinely believe that we can do it, then hopefully that'll be enough.
So that's a hard hurdle, but like how are you looking at being able to, jump over that hurdle?
Networking massively.
Yeah.
I think people buy off people at the end of the day.
Yeah.
I think just because you send an email or a marketing, I don't think that's enough. I think you need to genuinely understand people's problems. I'm very conscious that what our solution offers now may not be the same solution in a year or two time. It could be that our solution is morphed into something completely different. So I'm very open to the idea that we evolve. And just because I've got this idea at the moment doesn't mean that will be the same idea in a couple of years. I've got to be really open to the idea that our business evolves into something different, which is adapting to what the client's demands are and what the client wants, or the candidates.
Understood. So, in terms of your business's culture, can you describe like what is the culture of Aspire to Grow?
The culture we're trying to, or what we are going to achieve. It's not we're going to try. We are going to achieve it. Is we're going to create. We can't ask our clients to be great at these things if we're not great at these things.
Yeah.
So practice what we preach. We want to be genuine people who recognise talent, want to promote great talent. Do you know what I mean? As in, make them continue to grow, continue to always. We want clients who want to collaborate with us, but we also want to collaborate with our clients.
Yep.
So we recognise that as we grow, we're going to need to have our own clients that will help us with our service offerings and stuff. And we just want to be really, we want to constantly reflect and get better at what we do.
Nice. Okay. So let's look at, the future within the business. What's your vision of Aspire to Grow What's your vision of Aspire to Grow over the next 1 to 3 years?
Okay. I would like that our first clients in 3 years' time don't need us no more. That's our achievement. That's how we've got our clients. So let's take a situation where a client comes to us with problems. We help them solve their problems, and then we ultimately get them to grow. We aspire to that level. They get to a certain size. We are then helping them find the backfills for what we do. So we're finding a recruitment director, or an ops director, or a finance director, and then they no longer need us. We have got them to a stage in their growth where they can employ people themselves that they no longer need Aspire to grow. So my vision is hopefully, and in 3 years' time, the clients that are joining us now will no longer need us, and we'll have a new batch of new clients that come in and say, hey, we want the same as what you've done for that client. We want you to do the same for us. So our vision is we have this almost like we have a reputation of helping businesses go from X to Y, and then once they get to the Y, they don't need us no more, and we then go after the X again.
So as you see time progressing, what do you and business needs changing? How do you see Aspire to Grow actually evolving in terms of the business offering?
So at the moment, we've got 3 very defined offerings, but I believe there is so much more that we can help businesses with. And the big ones for me is HR. We could offer them HR expertise. We can help them on marketing. We could help them with social media content. We can help them with IT. There's so many different facets to a business infrastructure that we believe that our company would be able to expand on and develop over time. So one of the things that we're looking at the moment is finding partners who specialize in these sectors, who almost will be our go-to when our client needs help in any of those, say, sectors. So if we need a HR expert, we've got a HR person that could come in and support them on them factors. Okay. So we see growth as being more, other avenues, other specialisms.
Have you seen any new services or initiatives that you're excited about recently?
The initiatives, I think the initiatives that make me most excited at the moment is automation and the AI automation and the tools that are coming available to us that we can basically use to be better at making decisions. For example, ChatGPT has revolutionized, what I'm doing at the moment. It gives me advice and support and help. And I think, that sort of initiative where we almost infuse AI into automating some aspects of what we're doing on a day-to-day basis to make better decisions and make it streamlined.
Mm-hmm. So how do you plan to stay ahead of the trends in the business?
I think the big issue for me is understanding where we are in our life cycle, as in the people that work for Aspire to Grow at the moment, and recognizing that in order for us to stay relevant, we've got to have people that are at different stages in their development. Mm-hmm. And I think that sort of variety of staff in terms of backgrounds, diversity is massively important. I'm a really firm believer in diversity, in terms of people from different backgrounds, from different age groups, from different cultures. I think it's really important that our team evolves in a way that we have people who can understand and have the ability to look at things in a different way. I'm conscious I've got my view and my creative thinking, my logic. It's not necessarily going to be right for everyone.
Yes.
And in order for me to be brilliant at what I do, I need other people around me who is going to challenge me or make me think differently. Have you thought about it this way? Have you thought about a business wanting to do this? So it's about having that diversity of people around me with different sort of mindsets.
So do you see this staying in the UK or growing globally?
I really have no idea at this stage. I see it as being a UK-focused business, and ultimately for the first 5 or 10 years. But it's not to say that we don't start working with companies that have an international reach. But I would say predominantly it's going to be UK focused for the time being. We've got no ambitions to go anywhere further afield than that. I think there's enough going on here.
Yes, and I suppose that leads into my next question, which is, in terms of trying to build a legacy of growth and ambition, what sort of, what do you want to leave behind with this business?
I just want to leave behind something that's different, that people can put the hat on and say, our business, when it was at its critical stage, was supported by Aspire to Grow, and our achievements today is the result of Aspire to Grow helping us put the right foundations in place. I think the legacy is going to be, I want people to recognise that. It's recognition. At the end of the day, the reward comes with recognition. If I'm good at what I do and we perform well, people are going to reward us accordingly, and that's obviously going to be great as well. But I think I'm more driven by recognition. I always have been, even in my career before Aspire to Grow. I was always more motivated by being recognised from what I achieved rather than being rewarded. I always felt reward would always come with the recognition.
Okay, and so finally, I suppose, what's your next step? When you walk away from this interview today, what are you going to be doing tomorrow?
What am I doing tomorrow? Keep on networking.
Networking.
I think I really enjoy meeting people. I like listening to people's challenges. I love trying to make them think differently, and it makes me think different. I love being in creative environments. I've loved whiteboard thinking. If you put me on a whiteboard and we come up with a new concept, new ideas, I could spend hours doing that. I absolutely love it. So if people come to me and say, Gary, I've heard and listened to what you're about. I'm really keen to talk to you about some of my ideas and some problems I'm having. That would be step one achieved. I'd love that. That's nothing would make me feel more prouder than being able to just sit down with someone and talk about their problems and come up with some ideas and solutions to resolve those issues.